beside another day that wasn't mine. Nonsense plaguing my thoughts like spiral lullabies. But the man with his musical box and the holes in his self-knitted socks, reflections of a kind. Whoa, do you crave for nothing else? Or do you feel life passing you by? Or do you feel life pass you by? If you were given just one chance, would you be standing where you are? If you were paving streets with the same old feet that you look upon, if you were given just one chance, the man at the bar, anchored on a drink and smelling cigar, his face tells of 1,000 sorrows, with a tearful eye and saddened glow. The horror of a newspaper stand, exploiting terror of another man's hand. Would it be true to say that they plan their day and their future in this way? Whoa, do you crave for nothing else? Or do you feel life passing you by? Or do you feel life pass you by? If you were given just one chance, would you be standing where you are? Would you be paving streets with the same old feet that you look upon? If you were given just one chance. Where would you be if you were given just one chance? Would you be standing where you are? If you were paving streets with the same old feet that you look upon, if you were given just one chance.
Welcome, people that are into software. I talked to my good friend Chris. There's more to his name, but I'm abbreviating. He's now in charge of Guitaric, which means he might want a video, which means give me money, I say, and then okay, I make the video. But then I also said, I'm not gonna hold back, which I don't, because the video's for you, not for them. Screw them. Not really, because they're nice people. I love Native Instruments. Guitaric, Native Instruments. There was at some point a number 5, and then they decided, you know what, there are more numbers, and they went to 6, and then they were like, you know what, just it's not enough, we're gonna go to 7. I have no idea what this intro is about. It is pretty much about Guitar Rig 7. And they added some things, and we're gonna look at those things that have been added, but I'll also make a very clear recommendation of who Guitar Rig should be used for with. I don't think Guitar Rig is the bare bones, here are some amps and cabs, truthfully, massively recreated, like, for example, Neural DSP would do. It's not for the, let's say, tone connoisseur. I think you can get some great tones out of it. Are they exactly the tones you would expect from those amps that you think have been recreated? I do not think so. They are in that direction where Guitar Rig shines, and shines more than any other guitar modeling software, is at not really being a guitar modeling software, but a guitar amp modeler designed for guitar, bass, keyboards, drums, and anything else. Because remember, it is made by people that make some of the greatest VST synthesizers and samplers on the planet. And so they look at the guitar from a point of view of sound design. And they're not limited in their tiny guitar player brains, because they're not guitar players, some of them. They're not limited by, it's gotta be an AC30 and a tube screamer and like an analog delay, and yeah, man. You know, we guitar players are so fucking boring. It's embarrassing. They leave all the boring out and they go, what can we do with guitar? In the end, does it sound like a guitar? Why do we care if it sounds good? And that is really where I think Guitar Rig shines. Then also running drums through distortion and filters and stuff. And anything else you want. So I would see Guitar Rig as, yes, a guitar software, but also a starting point for a rack with a multitude of effects, whether it be filtering, pitch shifting, modulation, distortion, yes, maybe even amp distortion, but do not make the mistake of seeing it as a pure guitar amp simulator, even though now we've got IR loading and all the things you would want. So what we're going to do first is going to go through some presets, which by itself could blow the scope of this video right out of proportion. Then we're going to go into the new amps, which are the, I'm going to read this, Super Fast 100, that's a Soldano type thing, which they had before, but now more Soldano-y. Reverb Delight, which I just dialed up, which is technically really just a deluxe reverb. Bass Rage, which I recorded in the track at the beginning. It's a, bass amp. The AC Box XV, modeled after the legendary 60s tube amp for clean and gritty tones. It's pretty good. It's pretty gritty. And Cabinet Impulse Response Loader, now we have an IR loader. There are crazy things like the Loop Machine Pro, the Noise Machine, the Tape Wobble, and the Vintage Rebutter. The Noise Machine, what the crap is that about? We're going to look at it. Now that I'm looking at the shirt, it actually looks like some of their plugin skins. They always look like, can't you imagine this for like a granular synth kind of a thing? Just two knobs here. I don't know. I look like a Native Instruments plugin. Not intended. And then we've got Stomp. There's the Color. Screamer Deluxe. Guess what that is? The Chainsaw. Good old HM2 something sounds. IV Stomp. No idea. And the Seattle Fuzz, which I think is a fuzz. So that's technically what's new. But we're going to go and just... Let's start with the super crazy and roll it back to amp and cab. So here it is. The interface is confusing at first, but of course they have their beautiful browser, which you can tag things here with colors, but you can go by input source, and that already shows you they think way outside of the box. Bass, drums, guitar, keys, mix bus, pads, piano, filtered, pitch shifted, delayed piano. Yes, please. See it as your effects box that also does guitar. That is what you spend €199 on, and I think it's worth it. Special effects, blah, blah, blah. So, of course, we're going to look at guitar, and then it's going to show you guitar-centric things. We can look at effect types, amp and caps. That's what's interesting to us. But of course, there is so much more. What kind of character do you want? Clean, colored, complex, creative, dissonant. What kind of amp? That's pretty straightforward. So you can definitely filter it by the type that you want. I did the crazy thing and I went to complex. And of course, you can click several of them to really hone in on your search. Then let's go to this. And then we have the rack. And see it as a rack of effects. You can turn them individually on and off on the right. You can fold them so that things are a little bit cleaner. And on the very right, you see the signal flow. Right now, I'm going in left, and I will probably get stereo out. You could go stereo in or in right, but we're going to go in mono because the guitar is a mono instrument. And then you see the whole chain. So there's the freak, whatever that is, and the color, and then it shows you in yellow here that you've selected that. The noise machine, the format filter, the LFO, the solid EQ, and see now it goes down. And then we got A and B. And yeah, on the A side, probably meaning on the left side, we got a vintage verb and grain delay and octave verb on the right side, and then whatever split mix is. You can build very crazy effect chains right there. Totally different on the left. And think outside the box. Think sound design. Now, full disclosure, I'm a sound designer. That's what I do. I mean, not really, that's what I used to, I mean, that's what I studied. I studied sound design at Berklee College of Music. So for me, that's cool shit. How usable are these sounds for your AC/DC band? Well, you need a different sound from Guitaric, but do not think that way. Now that noise, now the gate grabbed, but the noise machine, for me, it's now set to vinyl. You can, of course, do many different things there. That's the first thing that I want to turn off, because why would I want noise? I mean, why would I don't know. But you know what? That's those crazy synth people. Okay, we're gonna go just right on. Now you couldn't hear that, but I was going. What happened? I got fucking inspired. That's what the shit does. Are you gonna have this in your thing later? But yeah. And play that on top of that other thing? See? Exciting! I think you get the idea. If you're stuck, turn on any of these and go with the flow. Now, I could do without the jitter on the jitter octave. We're gonna go, what the crap? And yet again, don't make the mistake of playing classic riffs with it. This, by the way, is a Huber Krautster 3. Her name is Heidi. Now it says transistor drums. Maybe you should send drums through that. The driver, by the way, right up there, when you buy Complete, you get this as a standalone plugin, and that thing is the fucking shit. I'm sorry for swearing, but it's so cool. Send drum loops through that, then dial it back a bit. It completely melts your drum loop and turns it into something pulsating and completely crazy. I've done quite a bit of dubstep with the driver and sending almost everything through there. It's so much fun. Yeah. Go crazy. Yes, dubstep. I know, the guy that goes, you know, that guy. So, obviously, let's one more. You can hear from that sound that there's no cab or anything. That's just a DI sound because it is also meant for other things than your stupid guitar. Okay, but you're here for guitar. So let's go amps and cabinets. And here we are. This is crazy. This is crazy fun. Is it 100% like my Soldano? Probably not. But I mean... It's fun, it's blown up, it's compressed, it's absolutely crazy. You're talking about compressed. They do go quite a bit overboard with the presets. There's a noise gate, there's a tube screamer, there's the cab, obviously, and already an SSL type EQ. Do we need all that stuff? Is that really necessary? I mean, they give you mix-ready sounds, I get that, but sometimes they go just a little bit too far on making the decisions for you. The rooms are pretty good. I like it. So on that sound, yeah, maybe we don't want that much room. Thank you, Leslie, for going big and small. That really helps you guys to see what's happening. I had coffee, can you tell? On a more roomy type amp, like the next one, that makes a lot of sense. So that's one of the new ones, just like the super fast, the Reverb Delight, and it is a delight. Why is there noise? Well, because we paid for the noise machine, so let's turn it off. But what is going on here? They love their processing. There's an 1176 style compressor with massive input boost, full blown. Then we're gonna go preamp, before the amp, into an SSL type EQ. Boosting the high end a bit. No, taking the high end down and the low end down a bit. And a high pass filter. Then here's your amp. Then there's a noise machine. Then there's another room, even though the amp has reverb. And an LA2A behind it. We're compressing the living crap out of it. It's actually the sound I used in the intro track. And I mean, it's fun to play with that much compression, but do you really need it? Ah, they flipped it around on the LA2A. It's the knobs are on the opposite sides. So let's turn that room off. Let's go simpler here. Turn the treble off for now. Do we need this compressor? Let's say no. Do we need this EQ? Let's say no. And now we're really getting close to just the amp. And you know what? It's not getting any less good. It's nice. That's the built-in reverb from the Deluxe, something Reverb Delight Deluxe. So maybe we're taming it a little bit here. Get this. Oh, we can just turn that off. There are off buttons. And of course, the tremolo can be time synced to your sequence, which is nice when you're in the sequence. So let's see what happens when we move this IR thing further to the right. It comes to life. Look at that. I love it. And so on. Jazz! Lovely sound that you could see was kind of like a little bit bastardized by the Native Instruments team, but that's fine. Chimey Rock is bringing us to the AC Box XV and gnarly, scratchy AC. Realistically, I do not give a flying rat's ass how close this is to the AC. It's fun. And that's why we buy these things. We want to have fun. Does it work in a mix? Well, yeah. A little anecdote. It was 2007. That is a long time ago in amp modeling software. And a friend of mine, Henrik, he produced the whole album. And I listened to the album. They did it in Frankfurt somewhere. And I was like, this is really good. What did you use for guitars? And I was on my search of like mics and amps and cabs and all that. And he's like, Guitar Rig. 15 years ago. No, 16 years ago by now. So if it sounded that good back then, in context, guess what you can do with number 7? Now there's a deluxe Memory Man in there. And I could literally just write an album, on a song with that right now. This is fun. Stadium lead, again, with the thing that you use for leads, the SLO. I slipped! No idea what that was. That was 3 times Lydian back to Mixo, no clue why. But hey. Beautiful. And we got, again, maybe that's their trick. Compression before the deluxe, and then after, and then it's going into a chorus, and then there's a bit of a pitch thing, which is a eventide-ish, and then EQ, and then a delay. Holy crap, hola. This is probably a little bit much, but we've got the brand new chainsaw, which is giving you that Swedish sound. I don't know what you do with that. I have no idea. Super long bearded delight. Did the beard guys ever play that amp? I don't know. This. It's a little bit much there on the saturation. As a metal sound, that's not great, but does it have to be that? Birds! Don't ask me what's going on there. Now they're using some kind of very peaky filtering to recreate birdsong. Why? Nobody knows. Broken tape. Now again, do not think of it as just guitar sounds. There's a lot of stuff you can do with it, and even as an inspiration for a riff, when it's not fat and it's going through that broken tape sound, maybe later you want to play it with something else, but the initial inspiration came from a sound that you would have never dialed up. Is that a great fuzz sound? Does it sound like a fuzz into a tube amp? To me, no. Is it a sound that I cannot get with a fuzz into a tube amp? Yeah, this is different. And I like it. That's the point. Don't be so freaking conservative. Arctic. '60s crunch, I beg to differ. Too much gain on there. You can see there's a billion presets and we cannot play them all. So let's do this. Let's go into amplifiers. Look at ones with this new amp. That sounds blown up, and it's without that reverb in there, which you don't need. But let's get that off with that Seattle fuzz, which I think is new. Yes, that's new. Vintage verb. Let's get that off. A little bit more room in here. It sounds so much like one of those old crap amps. I mean, like the '60s, and like, wow. I got it. This sound, I would not be able, I'm not freaking shitting you, to recreate with anything I have. I have a billion amps. I've got 2 more studios with amps. I've got guitars. I've got pedals coming out of my bum hole. But I would not be able to get that sound, not even easily. I would not be able to get that sound because you need the right kind of speaker and room and mic in combination of everything. It's a shit sound, but it's so damn cool. And if that's what I wanted for a classic rock bridge or whatever I want to use that for, I wouldn't be able to get this. So here's how you see Guitar Rig versus other modelers. See it as an extension to your normal rig to do the sounds that your normal rig cannot give you. Okay? It might give you the greatest guitar sounds in the world, the other stuff. It will not give you this. It will not give you a lot of the things that Guitar Rig can do for you. And I've always seen it that way. And I think it's because it comes from the minds of people that deal with sound design primarily. They think creatively more than guitar players do. I find myself playing differently than I usually do. And that's, I think, the strength of the software. The amp is on, but it sounds... Let's unfold it. Yeah, there's no speaker. Okay. Of course, we can get the speaker, blah, blah, blah. Let's look at other stuff. What else? Chicago. That's, again... That's a type of kind of deluxe reverb. You've probably seen that. There's the citrus. here with a chainsaw. You can see none of their presets is ever really just simple. There's the coolplex, first going through a compressor, then into the cab, then into an EQ. And why? Because they can. Fire breather. It's another amp they have. Fire seeker. It doesn't suck. Gratifier. That's their Mesa. Okay. Here we got a high waddy thing. It has all those sounds and it can absolutely work as an amp simulator, but that's selling it short. Using that Seattle fuzz again for shitty sounds. It kind of sounds like as if my strings are full on hitting the frets. Frets are these things. And that's what that Seattle fuzz kind of does. We've got the classic plex. Hey, look, it's just an amp. I really like the chain over here. That makes it quite a bit easier. Then there's the Ramfire, which is of course something with that band that goes. Buttermilch! Buttermilch! Or other words that nobody understands because they're German. Reverb Delight, we've covered Superfast, we've covered Twang. Another variation of those Fendery things. Sweetman. More mid-focus Defender things. Ultrasonic. I don't know, heavy shit. And now it's just wishy-washy because it's 2 amps. Yeah, okay, we've covered the amps, fine. But that's really not, I think, where the fun is. Here is the fun. See me get excited about this shit. No amp. Let's see what's happening. There's a compressor. It's already splitting up into a delay, and then a delay into pitch, into, again, A and B, delays into pitch, into a mix, into delays, into pitch, and then split, and then a reverb to do this. this I actually used in the intro track. An example of a sound that is not musically really usable, but maybe you want to send a, I don't know, scream into it and then see what happens and then put it in the background for a horror movie. Think outside the box, people. So, I mean, we cannot go through everything. It's literally impossible. So I'll show you a couple of things. First of all, how do you edit? So let's go back to presets. We're going to go to deep grain. And that is a preset for DI type stuff. There is no amp in there, and you can clearly hear that it's not really meant for guitar. I mean, maybe it is, but the actual guitar sound is pretty DI, straight into the board. Also, there's a lot of grainy delays. So let's change that a little bit. By going up here to components, right there, we see, guess what? All the different components in nice colors. So what I want is amplifiers. So I go to amplifiers, and now I only see, guess what? The amplifiers. We're going to go to that beautiful reverb delight, and we're going to look at the chain on the right. There is a compressor again. You see it nicely goes up there. And then it splits into A, and you can see right here, this is the A section, then the B section. And then there's the mix right now panned to the full left and full right with a crossfade of 50-50, then an EQ, and then again, another delay. Let's go and put the reverb delight into the A chain. We're going to go all the way to the left so we can hear this. I'm going to turn the reverb off and make sure that our levels are fine. Well, they are not, because we're pushing that amp to bits with the output from our compressor. A little bit more of the room. So there we go. And we're going to go and give it a lot less of the grain and a lot less of the reverb here. So really 5% there. Now we're going to go to the right, and I'm going to use the cool plex in the B section. And again, tame it. First of all, also take this from 30 to 5. I know Native Instruments people, it's not as drastic as you want it, but I want it a little bit more subtle. So that amp on the right now is a lot thinner sounding. And here we actually have the cabs from the other amps. So maybe we go and change the cab of the cool plex to the cab of the reverb delight. Let's turn the twin delay off. Okay, now we're going to go back to 50-50. And we have both amps now. So we bring back that twin delay and also take that down a bit. And maybe now crank up the volume a little bit. We still have a lot of space. We still have that grainy octave pitch up delay in there, but we're also going through a deluxe reverb type amp and a plexi type amp, left and right. I mean, tell me the setup that you can build on your budget that can do this. fold this down. Let's kill the cab section here. Now it sounds horrible because there is a new IR loader, right? Amplifiers, cabinets. So we're going to go to cabinets. There is Control Room Pro, Match Cabinet. What is Control Room Pro? Why not? Why not load that up? Oh, look at this. Look at all the stuff you can do here. You can mix and match like a billion different cabs right there. I mean, 8. It's not a billion, but it's close. And these are the cabs that you can get from them. Let's go to the 70s black with, well, we're going to say with a 57, of course. I like that they don't have a lot of mic selection, but what you need. Of course, we're gonna go to the edge. You don't want to be smack in the middle. So we're gonna go to 2. Call up a greenback with a ribbon, also on the edge. Face, a little bit of room, a little bit of pan. I mean, look how easy that is. What if I wanted a third cab in there? That's 212 Blue Bulldog with 421. Holy crap, that Blue Bulldog has quite a bit of meds. So that's how you would do that. Or, as I showed before, you delete that shit. You delete that shit. Take the cabinet IR loader, put it underneath, and here is the IR loader. Oh, look, comes with Bogren Doom Saws. No, we don't want that. Kolor audio card. Kolor. Kolor's cabs. I mean, why not? Chris is a good friend. Well, that's clearly not for that kind of amp. So, hard and painful. Lancaster audio. Interesting. Are these included, or do I happen to have these? No, I think they're included. What is Sigma Audio? Bright A, 212. The thing is, I'm not a fan of IRs. I'm a fan of what I just did. Call up the cabs, build them, pick your mic, move them around, mix them. Straightforward IRs never sound good to me. I don't know why. Because that doesn't sound good. That sounds too low indie. What do Bogren have? Do they have non-metal people in here? 2. There we go. Well, if I could read, that would really help. And then on 1. No, go to 1. Stop it. On 1, we're gonna go back to the here knocked up. How about that? So we clearly have phase issues there. And that's why you have the delay, which is of course. Thing is, if you have your own IRs, you can use them, up to 4 of them, match the phase, match the level, and pan. I'm a big fan of the control room, but you know what's even better? The freaking matched one. Match cabinet, and then you go to the, where is it? AC. That's not, I want the AC Box XV, which I somehow can't find because I'm blind. Let's use this. Ooh. No. So anyway, this is how you do it. What's left? We're gonna go back to try and try. That's too much. Let's go back to this. Yes, a little bit less volume here. And we're gonna look for the tape wobble, because that's another new component. And that would be under delay and echo, I guess. Tape echo. I don't see it. Modifier. Modulation. There it is. I'm gonna put it behind the amp, because why not? Now this is not tape delay. That is wobbling. It is just the tape doing its mechanical thing. Now, of course, I could easily take a tape echo and then send it through that. I'm just having fun. Vintage vibrato. Do we? No, let's not go crazy. Yeah, the color drive. Why not? We're gonna turn this off. Just gonna leave it here. We're gonna go to components. We're gonna go to distortion. We're gonna go to color. We're gonna put that before this. We already have the IVP. I don't know what that means. Stump. You've just heard this. Kill that. So without the color, let's get the drive down. It's your break uppy, huh? We're gonna turn the color back on. Solid console, analog aura, it's fuzzy. It's cool. It's not like a drive, but it's cool. A billion options. I mean, you can see just for the color drive, I have a billion options. And look at all the drives. It's ridiculous. So what the bottom line is, this is the box that can give you guitar sounds. You could record a full album with that and nobody would be the wiser and you'd be happy with the sounds. But as an inspiration machine, as the thing that takes guitar simulation further, a lot of these things will try to give you the good old sounds, and that's fine. And some of them do this to perfection. This has good old sounds. I'm gonna say not to perfection, pretty good. Totally usable and satisfying for any recording. However, the inspiration aspect, the take the guitar further, the split it up and do crazy LFO shit with it, and easily gets to this stuff by just going characters, evolving. Now you say this is crazy. I recorded as a Halloween thing, Halloween night, Berklee College of Music, as a sound-alike. We had to record Paranoid, and I played bass on that session. And when it came Paranoid from that band with the guy that, and the guitar solo, we couldn't figure out what that sound was. And for pretty much 2 hours or more, we're trying different things until we figured out it's a ring mod. And then we actually went into the synth lab, got an ARP 2600 analog synthesizer, which had a ring modulator. And actually, it turned out that on the original recording, that is apparently what they did, because we called a producer friend of mine who knows Iommi and knows that story. So we ran the guitar solo through an ARP 2600 input section ring modulation and got that sound pretty much like it was on the album. Thinking outside of the box is something you hear all the time, but you're too freaking conservative to admit it. So maybe use something like this, see what happens. Not to play your blues solo, but I think you get the idea. I think I've made my case enough. Thank you, Native Instruments, for making something crazy and holding us to a higher standard as guitar players. Thank you for commissioning this video. Thanks, Chris. And thanks, Leslie, for switching. And we're going to put links below and animals at the end, as always. And subscribe and like and do all that stuff you know you should and you never do.